After 7 days of grueling competition, you are about to see the 8 that survived. Welcome to Market Square Arena in Indianapolis, Indiana, home to the Indiana Pacers and Indianapolis Ice. Today, however, the top men and women professional bowlers are center stage for the first time in one of bowling's most prestigious championships, the Bowling Proprietors Association of America's US Open. Hi, everyone. I'm Leila Wagner, and with me is the tournament leader, Marianne DiRupo. Marianne, you've been in 3 arena finals. There's a lot of distractions that come about with an arena. How are you able to block those out?
Well, the only thing I'm really concentrating on is I only have 10 frames, 1 game. So I'm trying to make the best shots that I can go my way, and hopefully everything will turn out my way this time.
Well, you were the top seed earlier this year. It was an arena. Things didn't really go your way there. How are you going to make things different tonight?
Well, I didn't do very well in my last arena final, so I'm kind of avoiding that from my mind. Plus, the adrenaline tonight with the men being here and the excitement from the crowd. I mean, I'm just looking at it as 1 game, 10 frames, and hopefully I can do the best I can.
Well, good luck, Marianne. Now, Marshall Holman, one of bowling's greatest bowlers, is with the top seed for the men.
Thanks, Leila. I'm here with George Brooks. George, you're the top seed in the U.S. Open this year. This is only your second U.S. Open, your second professional tournament ever. What's going through your mind with a chance to win one of the biggest tournaments in all of bowling?
It's unbelievable. You know, everything went well for me this week. I bowled well, and right now I'm just enjoying it, and I'm just the luckiest man on the planet right now.
Well, George, I watched you bowl all week. I think you can do it, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
And now, let's go to the public address system for our player introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the 4-seeded men's position, please join me in welcoming to our tournament a 19-time champion, Walter Ray Williams, Jr. Williams is set to compete against the BPAA defending champion, a man who currently holds 12 titles. Will you please welcome Dave Husted? In the 4-seeded women's position, let's welcome a title holder on the Ladies Pro Bowler Tour, Liz Johnson. She'll compete against a strong competitor, a holder of 6 titles, including the 1987 BPAA US Open, Carol Norman. Next, the number 2 seed in the men's division. With 21 titles, 2-time US Open champion, please join me in welcoming Pete Weber. The number 2 seed in the women's division is the 1992 US Open champion, Tish Johnson. Seeded number 1 in the men's division from Aurora, Colorado, and making only his 2nd appearance at the US Open is George Brooks. Now let's hear it for the number 1 seed in the women's division, a 3-time title holder, Marianne DiRupo. Let's have a big hand for our finalists.
The 1996 BPAA US Open is brought to you by Bryant. For dependable heating and cooling, call Bryant to the rescue. Stay with us. Coming up, we have match number 1.
Bryant dealer to the rescue and get Bryant's Plus 90i, the most totally efficient gas furnace. It can lower heating bills up to 40%. Call Bryant to the rescue. 1-800-HOT-SAVE.
Come on, Bryant, and rescue me.
For 36 years, Dr. Pearl has believed in providing the best in value. And now at Pearl Vision, we're celebrating our anniversary with a fantastic frame sale. All our frames are 50% off, every one reduced by half. But hurry, Pearl's Founders Day sale ends soon.
Well?
Messenger 10.
Okay. Give me a granny strike. a strike on lane 28.
Okay.
Must be the ball. Columbia bowls the world over.
And what you're looking at is the time lapse of the construction here at the Market Square Arena to enable the bowlers to be able to perform in an arena-type setting.
Well, it takes a lot longer than that, Leila, but boy, they got that done in a hurry. That was actually a couple of days of footage. It is quite a job to transform Market Square Arena into a 4-lane bowling center.
And as you can see here, the wonderful crowd on hand for the final of the BPAA US Open. The 4 players ready to take the lane. A unique tournament, the men and the women competing together all week. Comes down to this, both pairs competing on the same pair of lanes.
Well, we've never done it before, and Carol Norman will start the match out bowling against Liz Johnson.
Carol Norman from Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, with 6 national titles. Starts out beautifully, hands up in the air. She is going to get excited.
Yeah, Carol's an emotional player. She really enjoys the game of bowling, and it shows.
First look at Liz Johnson, 2-time U.S. National Amateur Champion, has really taken the tour by storm this year. Already has 1 national title with senior PBA player Mike Kent. Rips the rack.
A very strong strike. As Dave Husted gets up to start out the match, Dave Husted, a 2-time U.S. Open champion. He won the tournament last year trying to be the first to go back-to-back. And a very, very great, just a beautiful strike to start out the match for Dave Husted. Every pin does its job, 10 in the pit. He's got to like that. Now, Walter Ray Williams Jr., the hottest player on tour in the last 4 or 5 years, #1 ranked player in the PBA Power Ranking. Starting out on lane 4. Coming in a little high and tripping the 4-pin. You know, it's nice, Leila, to start a match out where you feel like you got a good break, you feel a little lucky, maybe you feel like it's your day.
Well, I'm sure, too, with a little bit of delay before the players can get up, the nerves have to be there, Marshall.
Well, they certainly are. It's a different setting. You know, we bowled at Woodland Bowl all week, and now here we are at Market Square Arena. It's a whole different feel to it, and it takes a while for the players to get acclimated.
Liz Johnson working on a strike, trying to make it into a double, catch an early lead. Comes up light, leading 2-5. Liz Johnson with a very aggressive game style, 5-step, actually very tiny steps. Nice solid at the line, finishes pretty far from the approach. This is her last shot, head pin up against the wall, scripts out the 4, takes out the 7, but the 2-5 remains.
And that's the lane that the guys said was hanging a little bit. Both the guys and the gals said lane 3 wasn't hooking back as much.
Carol Norman through the nose.
Well, she certainly didn't want that. She had the opportunity to take a lead, and now if Liz Johnson could make this fair, she'll have the early opening lead.
And no problem with the spare conversion. Carol Norman, with more of a direct game style, actually points the ball up towards the pocket. Apparently that got her in trouble on the last frame. When you're not comfortable, you have a tendency, and again, the nerves going, and you really want to double early, you pull it.
Well, she did the only thing she could do right there, Leila. She got the count. She now finds herself in a 12-pin deficit. Now Walter Ray Williams going for an early double. You know, he wants to put pressure on Dave Husted. These are 2 of the best bowlers on our tour. They know, well, there you go. It's just a beautiful shot by Walter. They know that each one is capable of throwing a lot of strikes. Here's a good look at Dave Husted's approach. Got on that ball cleanly. And there's another 10 in the pit of just the kind of shot that you want to have. You feel comfortable. He likes that right lane, I think, a little bit better than the left lane.
Speaking of liking the right lane, Carol Norman also appears to like the right lane better than the left lane. And again, back on it with a light hit. Actually, must have been some sort of adjustment off of the split that she left on the other lane. Liz Johnson right now Working on a spare, trying to stay clean, get some strikes going, put some pressure on Carroll. Oh, my. Very light, tripping the 2-pin forward.
And there we see our tournament leader, George Brooks, and if he isn't nervous now, he's going to be getting more and more nervous as this progresses. So we can see the leaders by round. Norm Titus the first couple of rounds and then fell off. Walter Ray Williams took over in rounds 4, 5, and 6, and then George Brooks led the tournament.
On the women's side, Nikki Giannoulias ended up finishing 7th this week. Liz Johnson, we see her playing now, led 3 of the rounds. And actually, the players this week competed at Woodland Bowl, right around the corner from Market Square Arena. Kim Adler last night in the position round finals, or final 8 games, shot a 300.
I think she's pleased with that, Leila. And as you can see, Dave Husted with the first 11 needs this strike for 300, trying to move from 3rd place up to 2nd. He gets the strike. However, Pete Weber struck late in his match and remained in 2nd place.
The gentleman that came out on top of the leaderboard last night and getting all the congratulations was amateur George Brooks.
One of the interesting aspects of the BPAA US Open is that the amateurs can qualify to bowl with the pros. And when George isn't bowling, George works in Denver, Colorado as the senior fund administrator for the Oppenheimer Management Corporation.
What I do here at Oppenheimer is I settle securities transactions. Our portfolio management personnel in New York go out and buy and sell securities, and I work at getting the securities into custody at our custodian banks around not only the United States but around the world. This is a very hectic work schedule. Our mornings are very busy, and you know, we need to basically just try to get everything we can done in the morning and then prepare in the afternoon for the next day.
Bowling in 3 leagues a week enables George to indulge in his passion for the sport, one that he was attracted to some 25 years ago.
My parents owned a restaurant that was attached to a bowling alley, so I just picked up the bowling balls and went out and bowled. And on Saturday afternoons, I joined the league as a kid, and I'd eat lunch and watch the tour, Mark Roth and Earl Anthony and Marshall Holman and all the greats. We'd go out afterwards and practice what I watched on TV.
After 3 frames here at the Market Square Arena, we're all even on the men's side. Liz Johnson leads Carol Norman by 12 pins.
The engine, a superbly fine-tuned piece of motion machinery. It possesses 750 horsepower savagery and an uncontrollable spirit fueled by fire, driven by courage. It has a mind of its own and praises those that can dance with it. The engine is four-wheel terror. NASCAR on ESPN.
Brought to you in part locally by Jim Roberts Western Auto in Mount Joy.
Robert Redford and Michelle Pfeiffer are making headlines on pay-per-view.
That's everything you ever wanted right up there.
Up Close and Personal is simply sensational. My favorite romantic movie of the year.
Marry me?
An old-fashioned love story.
You want something you don't give up.
Redford and Pfeiffer turn up the heat.
Do you want to be with me?
So much it hurts.
Get Up Close and Personal. 2 great stars in one great romance. At home on pay-per-view. Dan Henning's Eagles are looking to bring a Thursday night fright to the Iron City when they battle Pitt in a Big East Halloween shootout. Boston College Pitt, Thursday night at 8, only on ESPN.
And Walter Ray Williams in the 6th frame.
Come on.
Working on 5 in a row.
Come on. Yes.
Emotional player. While we were away, look at the scoreboard.
As you can see, Walter Ray Williams now has a 21-pin lead after 6 frames.
And you're looking at Larry Vesna, the creator of the computer-aided tracking system, or also known as CATS. Tonight, sensors have been placed on lane 4, and as a result, we'll be able to keep track of ball speed as it's released and as it hits the pin from the release to the entry. We'll also be able to see how close the bowlers are to the pocket. The CAT system has measured it as being between 18 and 19 inches from either edge of the lane. This system was developed by the American Bowling Congress and the Women's International Bowling Congress. And it's the first time it's been used in a major tournament.
Well, Leila, the string ends at 6 for Walter Ray Williams as we see the ball coming in. There's a great angle. Came in high, left the 6-10. Dave Husted working on a strike and cut into the lead that Walter Ray Williams has. And he leaves a 10-pin. The kind of hit, you can see he thinks he should have carried that. That was a light hit. Most of the time, those pins will fall.
I love his reaction. His head drops. Oh, come on, you could have carried. Whoa.
You know, they call Walter Ray Williams dead-eye on tour, but he could not make the 6-10. A very unusual to see him miss a spare. Dave Husted converting the 10-10. Cuts into that lead.
Carol Norman now up in the 8th frame. While we were away, she was able to spare throughout the 4th, 5th, and 6th frames. However, Liz Johnson has been perfect. Trying to bounce back, get some enthusiasm going, but it's written all over her face there, you know? When you're that far down, 75 pins down, it's hard to come back.
But Liz just doesn't seem to want to give her any kind of a chance to get back into this match. She's a very, very serious bowler. You seldom see her show too much emotion. She throws the ball, watches it strike, and walks back.
A nice little breath. Blow that.
Maybe just a hint of a smile. I think she knows she's won this game.
You're looking at Niagara Falls, New York. Liz was born and raised close to this area, considered by many to be a natural wonder in the sport of bowling. Liz picked up her first ball at age 5. By the time she was a teenager, Liz was a regular on Buffalo television.
Number 1, our Super 7 Athlete of the Week, Liz Johnson of Niagara-Wheatfield. Liz went to the state bowling championships as an all-star and came away as the number 1 star. She averaged a tremendous .215 for 6 games to win the girls' state title.
Oh, it was real great for me. The lanes were really working real good for me, and I could throw the same line the whole time. I bowled high school for 5 years. I started in 8th grade, and I averaged 200 when I was 13 years old. And then it was just something that, I don't think anyone my age had ever done.
While in high school, Liz threw strikes of a different kind as well, as a record-setting softball pitcher. After graduation, Liz concentrated entirely on bowling, winning the prestigious National Amateur Championships.
There it is.
And the jacket that goes along with it, both in 1993 and 94.
Great job. Missy Howard had a great week here in front of the home crowd and
After a stint with Team USA in 94 and 95, Liz decided to turn pro, meaning it was time to say goodbye to Dad Conrad and Mom Karen.
Bye. Love you. Do it again, okay?
Yep. Liz hit the road in her WinStar, where she's living out her dreams. Throughout her career, Liz has shown all the qualities and attributes of a champion. At only 22 years of age, a bright future lies ahead. Liz Johnson, now up in the 10th frame, can strike out here for a 269 game. That's phenomenal, Marshall.
Well, she's comfortably in the lead, and I think she's looking forward to bowl Tish Johnson the next match.
Well, the 10-pin stands here, but doesn't matter at this point. Game 1 all wrapped up. Liz Johnson will advance. Carol Norman just ready to finish out the game.
And she's going to try and just add a little credibility to what she already has. Try and strike this game out. That ball looks a little light. Leaving the 2-pin. She can pick up the 2-pin and strike for 184, but it's not going to be enough to catch Liz Johnson.
Well, Carol has to be happy. The last time she made television was in July of 1995. She has to feel good just to finish 4th.
I'm sure she does, Leila, as Liz Johnson makes that spare.
Carol also converting her spare.
I think Carol's thinking about what might have been right now. You can sort of see it in her body language. A little bit of disappointment.
Sure. She is a former USA Open champion now. She won the title in 1987.
as Liz Johnson leads another 10-pin, finishing with a very, very nice 258 game, getting the congratulations from David Husted.
Well, she started out this match with a strike, and she finished with a strike. A true champion in her own right. Carol Norman finishes out with 184, but not enough to beat Liz Johnson tonight.
As you can see, Dave Husted with 168 in the 7th, working on a double. Walter Ray Williams must strike out in the 10th frame to have any chance of beating David Husted.
Whoa!
There's a lot of power on that shot. That ball came in a little bit light. As you can see, watch that head pin go to the sideboard. The messenger strike. Goodbye, 10-pin.
Looked like the 6-pin and the head pin were both ganging up on the 10-pin.
Now, Dave Husted in the 10th frame. There's a big strike for David. That's pretty much going to take care of things for this game. Here's David watching the ball go down the lane. I think he liked that one just a little bit, Leila.
I think so.
Walter Ray Williams can strike out for 244. This is his second shot in the 10th frame. That ball comes up light, leading the 2, 7, and 8 pins, and it's going to be just a little bit short for Walter Ray today. Now Dave up for his second shot in the 10th. Can strike out for 258. A very confident release, and 10 pins down. But right now, he's looking forward to bowling in the next match. He's thinking about what he can do to keep his momentum going against the great Pete Weber.
I want to see him strike out to tie Liz Johnson. You know, we have Liz Johnson shooting 258 on this very same pair of lanes. Dave Husted has to strike out actually to tie Liz Johnson. Let's add another match in here, Marshall.
Well,
that's men against the women. What do you think?
Well, Dave was very polite there. He allowed Liz Johnson to have the 258 game to his 257.
Well, Liz Johnson came out on top. Will she be able to keep the hot hand, or will Tish Johnson's vengeance prevail? Dave Husted is on the road to his 3rd U.S. Open title, but he could run into a roadblock as he now meets the PBA's leading money winner, Pete Weber.
Call a Bryant dealer to the rescue and get Bryant's Plus 90i, the most totally efficient gas furnace. It can lower heating bills up to 40%. Call Bryant to the rescue. 1-800-HOT-SAVE.
It starts as a blank ribbon of newsprint. Then it captures the most important business news from around the globe to become the Wall Street Journal. No one looks at the world quite like the Journal. It not only reports the facts, it tells you what they mean and how they'll affect you, your family, your career. Whether it's news from Wall Street, Main Street, Frankfurt, or Tokyo, the Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights on everything that can affect you personally and professionally. And because our readers use its unique power to help them succeed, we do it again every business day. The Wall Street Journal, always relevant, always useful. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-376-2800. That's 800-376-2800 for the Wall Street Journal.
With ESPN's Sunday Night NFL, you not only get 9 big matchups, but 1 big highlight show, complete with Berman and Jackson. Get all the great plays. All the players, Dion, Cordell, Cortez. Praise fans, too. Get owners, coaches, the entire NFL, jam-packed with catchphrases. It's ESPN's Sunday Night NFL.
Hi, how you doing? All right, we're with Walter Ray Williams Jr. Walter finished 4th here in the tournament, the number 1 ranked bowler in the world today. Walter, how did it go out there?
Well, it started out pretty good, but then I got sidetracked.
I threw some bad shots at the end of the match. I'm not sure what happened. I thought I had a really nice reaction, but the ball didn't go where I wanted it to. And then Dave just came back and finished the game strong and cut me out.
You think there could have been any distractions? I mean, this room is very, very big. It's very loud. Did that distract you in any way?
No, the only distractions I had were the bad shots I made.
Well, that's a very honest assessment of how you bowled, Walter. You're a great champion, and thank you very much.
Thanks, Marshall.
All right.
And we're getting ready for match number 2 here at the Market Square Arena. Liz Johnson, Dave Husted will be taking the lane. Liz Johnson, we get a chance to see the Cats comparison here. Shot .258 in match number 1 against her opponent, Carol Norman. Dave Husted, .257 against Walter Ray.
So you can see it's not exactly the speed that dictates how many pins you knock down. Dave's ball's a little bit faster than Liz's, but Liz had one more pin. Here's the opening shot for Dave Husted against Pete Weber. And a perfect delivery. All 10 pins are down. Now here's Pete, 2-time U.S. Open champion. Dave Husted also a 2-time U.S. Open champion. Should be a great match.
This really should be the final when you come to think of it, Marshall.
Well, you'd think so, but George Brooks had something to say about that, and he's our tournament leader.
And he is waiting in the wings. We're picking up the women here in the second frame during frame 1. Tish Johnson spared. Also, Liz Johnson spared. We were doing our Cats comparison between Liz and Dave's ball speed while these ladies were bowling frame 1. Frame 2, Tish Johnson opens up there with a light strike.
She's playing the lanes very, very much from the outside, Leila, and making the ball hook very hard towards the back end. A lot of power.
She's also been referred to as the Earl Anthony of the women's tour, just by her smooth delivery. Liz Johnson answers the call with a strike of her own.
And again, a light pocket hit, not quite hooking up into the full pocket area. As we see Dick Weber and Pete's wife, Tracy, watching the action. Pete Weber in the second frame.
And also Pete's nephew is sitting next to Dick.
Oh, and Pete comes up light.
Oh, I don't like that.
No, and Pete doesn't like that either, Dick.
2-4-8-10.
Tough spare conversion, too, Marshall.
Well, it certainly is, and it gives Dave Husted a chance to take a little bit of a commanding lead early in this game. You can see he blows out a little air to relax himself. As you can see, our tracking camera, it liked the look of that strike, and so did David Husted.
Oh, my. Marshall trying to convert the spare.
Well, here we'll see how he left that 2-4-8-10. The ball is wide, and it just doesn't break high enough into the pocket. Now we see him for the conversion. He hits it right where he wants to. 2 pin in front, 8 pin behind. Tough break. A lot of emotion.
You can just feel for him. When one thinks of the BPAA US Open and Indianapolis, the name Carl Hindle comes to mind.
The BPAA US Open actually started back in 1941 when it was known as the National All-Star Tournament. The name changed when it became part of the PBA Tour. And one of the men instrumental in this happening was the late Carl Hindle, an Indianapolis bowling proprietor and industry visionary, a man who looked into the future and saw the awesome potential of this sport.
Carl was chairman of the National All-Star Tournament Committee. Lou France became chairman of the Bowling Proprietors Association of America Tournament Committee. And together they kind of come up with the idea that maybe the All-Star should be named for the Bowling Proprietors Association and become part of the PBA Tour.
Hindle spent nearly a quarter of a century helping make the BPAA US Open one of the game's major events.
He was, in essence, ahead of his time. I mean, he had foresight in the bowling game and such a wonderful, gentle soul, but he got the work done.
In the late 1940s, that wonderful and gentle soul befriended Indianapolis native Dick Weber. Now a 4-time champion of the Forerunner National All-Star event, Dick was employed as a postal clerk when he went to work for Carl in the basement of this building, which used to house the 18-lane Indiana Bowling Center.
Yeah, I started working for Carl in 1947. I was repair the machines, the pin setting machines at that time, the B1s as we called them.
I did the lanes, I cleaned the lanes, I slacked the lanes for him. I used to drill bowling balls for him.
In return, Carl began taking Weber to various tournaments that were held around the state of Indiana. And eventually, with Carl's help, Dick became a member of the famous Budweisers, known for that historic 38-58 series, which stood for many years. But in terms of the All-Star, there's one memory that Weber will never forget.
In 1962, that was in Miami Beach, Florida. And that was when I won my first All-Star. And Carl was there. Carl Hindle was there. And that was his dream to see me win an All-Star. And he was a great dreamer, and he just loved the game so much that he put everything, all his life into the game.
You love Jock Jams Volume 1. Now, ESPN and Tommy Boy Music give you Jock Jams Volume 2. Jock Jams Volume 2. More of the hottest crowd-pumping jams of all time. Jock Jams Volume 2. Available in record stores everywhere.
This is how we do it.
I've never been tested for HIV. I should be. Everyone should be. So, I'm going to get an HIV test right now. Watch me.
Call this toll-free number now to order an HIV test kit, an important new product developed for our times by Home Access Health. The kit arrives discreetly and includes everything you need to collect a number-coded sample, send it to our certified lab, and get your accurate, anonymous results in 3 business days by phone. Home Access. Fast, easy, confidential, reliable. The kit costs $49.95. HIV testing is part of life today, so go to your doctor, go to your clinic, or just go to your phone and call 1-800-HIV-TEST.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Home Access, making you feel right at home.
Leila Wagner and Marshall Holman back with you here in the 8th frame. While we were away, disaster struck Tish Johnson. She is now trailing. She's almost in a must-strike situation here. She needs to strike here in the 8th frame to regain the lead. Time's running out. Only 3 frames left in this match.
Also to regain a little of the momentum. She looked very strong at the start of the match. She needs to pick it up right here.
Oh, no. Disaster strikes again. But this is almost a left-handed version of Pete Weber. The ball coming up light. Tish leaves the 3-7. She is fortunate, though, to have knocked out the 9-pin.
Well, at least leaving the 3-7, she has a chance to get the ball to the right-hand side of that 3-pin and kick it over into the 7.
Oh! Good try, good effort on Tish Johnson's part.
And you can see she wears her emotions, right up front for everybody to see. She's very disappointed. I'm sure she's probably thinking, oh, please don't let me get this one. Don't let me give this away.
The match is still close. But Liz Johnson has been clean throughout this entire game. A look at the tracking camera here. Head pin flies against the left side of the wall, but the 10-pin remains. 6-pin just sat in the channel. Liz Johnson, an excellent spare shooter out on tour. No problem with the 10-pin.
Now, as we see the men's leaderboard, Dave Husted's really gotten it going, striking in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Pete Weber also striking, has 5 in a row. It's an 11-pin lead for Dave Husted as Pete Weber gets up for this shot. With this strike right here, he can close within 1 pin of Dave Husted's lead. Oh, he's stuck at the line. You could see he almost fell there, just barely staying behind the line. That's a very costly shot, and he's extremely disappointed.
Stuck on that one. He's stuck on that one.
I think Dick Weber is out for your job, Marshall.
Well, he could probably have it if he wants it.
Look at here, the replay, definitely no doubt about it there. And, when you lose balance, there's just no way to make a good shot.
Well, you lose all your control. Now Dave Husted up in the 8th frame, and absolutely right where he wanted to put it. gets all 10 pins to fall down, increases his lead, takes advantage of Pete Weber's bad break by sticking. Petey picks up the spare in the 8th frame, but Dave's lead increases.
Tish Johnson up now in the 9th frame. She could strike out. She could shoot 210. She had forced Liz Johnson to at least double. Comes up light. Leaves the 3-pin. 7-pin fell that time. But she really needed that strike in the 9th.
And here's Liz just going about her business and gets a great break, toppling the 2-pin. And I believe she did that in the last game, Leila. Another break for her.
You know, Marshall, so many times we see the pattern of the breaks go with a certain player in many of our events, and they seem just to take it right to the championship match.
Well, that happens quite a bit. Right now, Tish finds herself in a real tough position as we have Dave Husted getting ready to bowl in the 9th frame.
Working on 5 strikes. Dave trying to increase his string to 6. Does so. Beautiful shot.
And you can see the reaction. He liked that shot. He ran it out. Good thing he didn't run too far, Leila. It's only a 4-lane bowling center.
He would have ended up in the crowd, Marshall.
Pete Weber throwing the ball way to the right. It hooks back, getting the strike, but he's still disappointed about not striking in the 8th frame. As we see George Brooks and Marianne DiRupo wondering who they'll bowl for the championship in the U.S. Open.
Don't roll with the punches. Throw them.
It's not whether you win or lose. It's whether you win.
11 strikes down. 10 pins up. 1 ball to go.
Free for small business owners.
Now you can say goodbye to your bookkeeping hassles forever because the makers of Quicken have invented QuickBooks, the #1 selling accounting software that makes it fast and easy to do the things you don't love doing, like paying bills, writing invoices, figuring out what your customers owe, even tracking inventory and doing payroll. QuickBooks makes it all hassle-free. Call now to get a trial version absolutely free through this special limited-time TV offer.
This exciting new format with the world's best men and women bowlers competing together in a major championship reflects even bigger changes in the sport. This year, all of the major groups in the bowling industry, the proprietors, National Membership Association, Team USA, and the professional tours have pooled their talents and resources to form a company called Strike 10 Entertainment to develop, market, and promote the sport. We're back now. Tish Johnson up in the 10th frame, shoot a possible 200. Finally hits the pocket, but doesn't carry.
Leila, she needed to get all 3 strikes in the 10th really to have any chance to win. She's disappointed as she picks that ball up with just her fingers.
Well, she finished runner-up last year in the U.S. Open. Really trying to come back. She was the top seed last year, lost. Here she said, well, maybe if I qualify second, it'll be a better omen. However, it was not.
Well, she makes a spare, but she's disappointed. As you can see her shooting at this spare conversion.
She actually stuck.
Yeah, she did stick a little bit, Leila.
Liz Johnson just basically finishing out this game now. Once again, picks up a 10-10. Stayed clean. Gave her opponent no chance. 60 feet. You heard Tish Johnson say 60 feet.
Yeah, that ball never did pick up a roll. I'm sure she's disappointed. I think she was thinking she could win this tournament. Watching her in practice, she looked very, very tough, but wasn't able to get it done when the lights came on.
This lady, however, has been able to get it done.
As we see our tracking camera again, she leads the 4-7-10 to finish out with a game of 206, and that's enough to win the match. She'll be bowling for the title against Marianne DiRupo.
Pete Weber can shoot 246.
And he could put the pressure on Dave Husted. If he strikes on this ball, he still has a chance.
You can still...
All right. Strike it out, man. Strike it out.
See, Dick knows. Never over.
No, this game certainly isn't over.
You could still see, though, the frustration on Pete's face from that 8th frame.
Well, Dave Husted leads a 10-pin. He's going to have to make this. He makes this fair. It's his game. But Pete Weber still needs to strike on this ball. Pete Weber can shoot 246. This is the lane that gave him the trouble. Doesn't seem to be any trouble anymore for him. He's shaking his head. He knows Dave Husted isn't going to miss this.
It almost looked like Dave Husted stuck.
Yeah, well, he did stick. Pete was right. Dave wasn't going to miss that. A little bit of a wry smile for David.
That will get the heart rate going. Actually, Dave has not shot many corners tonight. He's thrown an awful lot of strikes.
And Pete just finishing out the game. Very, very disappointed. But Pete is definitely back.
244.
Nice game, 244, but not good enough for tonight.
Not with Dave Husted shooting 258 with this strike right here. Well, make it 257. And Dave Husted wins the second match against Pete Weber.
The women's final coming up. Liz Johnson has now jumped 2 hurdles. She has 1 more. Marianne DiRupo. These 2 ladies battled for the last 3 rounds of the tournament for the top position. They'll battle again.
A little white lie.
I'm 5'10", blonde.
Leads to love and laughter on pay-per-view.
You have to help me. I just want you to be me when he comes in here, okay?
Hi, Abby. Hi. 1 minute she's one thing.
I don't know what I'm doing.
The next minute she's something else completely.
He loves you.
Janine Garoppolo and Uma Thurman.
You burp and guys think it's adorable. You puke and they line up to hold your hair back.
The truth about cats and dogs. Irresistible entertainment at home on pay-per-view.
Seasoned fans of the watering trough know why it's the area's best place to relax, unwind, watch the game, and munch on some of the finest food around. Our lounge features everything from soup and sandwiches to full-course meals. There's even weekly entertainment. But what really scores big is our team of employees who always go the extra mile to make sure you're satisfied. So it's easy to see why fans keep coming back to the watering trough. It's the place for everyone. The watering trough on Main Street in Mount Joy.
The Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights that can affect you personally and professionally. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-356-9800. That's 800-356-9800 for the Wall Street Journal.
Marshall Holman alongside Leila Wagner at Market Square Arena as we see George Brooks, our tournament leader, getting some practice in. He doesn't look too nervous, but he'll be bowling against Dave Husted for the title. Liz Johnson, our number 4 seed, defeated Carol Norman and Tish Johnson to get to the finals, and Leila is with Tish.
Tish, I know you wanted to even up the score with 2 U.S. Open titles, 2 seconds. Things didn't work out that way for you. But you gave her a good run. What happened?
Well, I mean, I could really slide the first 4 frames, and then I started sticking, and I was trying, and then I tried to step to get rid of the slide because I slide a lot, and then the ball just started going 60 feet. So, but Liz bowled great, and hopefully she'll win. I think it should be a good match, and I'm happy finishing 3rd.
All right. Nice tournament. Thanks anyway.
Well, thanks, Leila. That was a good tournament for Tish Johnson, and I know she thought she could win this tournament watching her in practice, but it just wasn't meant to be. Liz Johnson's been very, very hot as we see her in the opening shot of the title match. And a powerful shot, leaving the solid 10. That's okay. She's happy with the delivery, not pleased with the result, but she'll go up and make this fair, or try to make this fair, to get off to a good, solid start.
The way she started out this match, Marshall, I think this lady is going to be tough to beat.
Well, I certainly think so too, Leila. But she's bowling against who I consider one of the great stylists of the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, Marianne DiRupo.
And her roommate, Alita Still.
The 1994 BPAA US Open champion. You can see Marianne averaged 214 this week. Great concentration. Very smooth up to the line and really throws a strong ball. Look at the way that ball really drives back in.
We heard Marianne yell hook. Look at Marianne's style. Said one of the stylists of the sport. She is very solid. Again, very far from the foul line though. She gets a lot of hook on the ball. She's talking to it. Yes. And there's definitely some fan support for Marianne. Marianne's actually learned a lot from rooming with Alita Still. Alita is known for actually showing very little or no emotion and just keeping it all intact.
Known for winning a lot of tournaments.
That's right. She's taught Marianne a lot of things.
Marianne starting out with a double, and Leila, I think possibly the reason she's not getting very close to the foul line is Tish Johnson was saying she had a little trouble sliding. That may be getting into Marianne's game also, and she's compensating for it.
She's compensating very well as she has opened up with a double, has a 10-pin lead over this lady right here.
Has Liz Johnson been behind throughout this entire tournament?
She actually trailed Tish Johnson at one point by 10 pins. But that wasn't for long.
Well, she trails Marianne DiRupo by 10 pins, but she strikes in the second frame and sets herself up to get a double in the second and third.
Speed comparison of these two ladies. Marianne DiRupo with a little bit more ball speed. Marianne out also with a very different game than Liz as far as how they play the lanes. Liz more straight up and at 'em. Marianne liking to cross a few more boards.
Marianne going with a little more of a powerful form.
And there's a lot of power on that shot as Liz Johnson evens up the match here with a double. First round of match play, this lady, Marianne DiRupo, out-averaged the entire field of men and women. Something to be proud of.
Well, I was hoping you wouldn't mention that, Leila, but she certainly did, and she is a great talent. Striking in the first and second frame, going for a three-bagger.
You mentioned power, Marshall. Those kids didn't stand a chance.
That was a great shot, Leila. She doesn't want to give Liz Johnson any room in this match.
Liz Johnson trailing right now as we go away. Marianne DiRupo is perfect through 3 frames. Stay with us.
Bryant dealer to the rescue and get Bryant's Plus 90i, the most totally efficient gas furnace. It can lower heating bills up to 40%. Call Bryant to the rescue. 1-800-HOT-SAVE.
So you're building that deck with Time Life to help you along. You might want to add some built-in benches. Page 50. How about a brick patio? Guaranteed weed-proof. And a lot easier on your checkbook than some contractor would be.
Now with Home Repair, you get 2 books for $2. Order decks, porches, and patios for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Those new countertops sure look good, and doing it yourself probably saved a bundle. So you could do that built-in recycling bin she wanted. Step by step, Time Life makes it easy.
With Home Repair, you get professional results at do-it-yourself prices. Use your credit card to order decks for just $1.99 and get kitchens free.
Home Repair makes you a real hero around the house. So why don't you give them a call? They'd probably love to hear from you.
Call 1-800-764-8585 to get 2 books for only $2. Use your credit card to order decks, porches, and patios, and you'll get kitchens free. Or send check or money order for $1.99 plus $3.95 shipping to the address on your screen.
Dan Hemming's Eagles are looking to bring a Thursday night fright to the Iron City when they battle Pitt in a Big East Halloween showdown. Boston College Pitt, Thursday night at 8, only on ESPN.
jump in on the opening that Marianne DiRupo gave her. Marianne was in the pocket, leaves a 9 count in the 4th frame. Liz Johnson working on 5 strikes in a row. We go off the sheet for 290. Meanwhile, George Brooks waiting in the wings, waiting to take on David Husted. Liz Johnson go off the sheet. Taking a little extra time here. Very important. A lot riding on this match. And a lot riding on the men's match.
All right, George. It's going to be about another 15 minutes you're going to be out there bowling for the U.S. Open. Have the nerves started coming up? Is the heartbeat going a little bit faster now?
Oh, yeah. It's since about the middle of yesterday, after the first block, you know, it really started to sink in what was happening and where this could go. And, you know, everything's going well so far. Got 12 more shots to make.
Well, I wish you all the best.
Thanks.
Marianne DiRupo working on a double right now. Knows she has to continue striking. Liz Johnson is just hotter than a firecracker right now. And even with that camera angle, we could tell a pin was remaining. It was the 4 pin. Marianne coming up a little bit high on that shot.
Well, as we see this shot again, Leila, the ball looks like it's trying to hold pocket, but it just creeps up a little bit high, leaving the 4 pin. And right now, Marianne DiRupo might need a little help from Liz Johnson because Liz is striking every shot.
Well, Marianne has been, you'd have to say, in the pocket of this shot, too, throughout this game. Now, if she does not win this match, it's going to be extremely difficult for her after leading this event. Lita still knows what it feels like to not only win a major, but also to lose one as well.
Well, we're in the 8th frame, and Marianne DiRupo desperately needs to strike here to try and stay within reach of Liz Johnson.
Hook a lot.
Well, it hooked a little bit, but it didn't quite hook a lot, Leila. She leaves the 7 pin.
And she needed it to hook more into the pocket. That ball coming up light. A lot of pin action, but the 7 pin remained. Really, if she could have struck there and struck out in the 9th and 10th, she could have gone to the wall 258. That was not the case here in the 8th. There's still time for her, though, in the 9th and 10th. She just has to hope that this lady right here, Liz Johnson, does not continue her string of strikes. Working on 6 strikes right now.
Yes, she has 6 in a row coming up into the 8th frame herself. She still has a possible 290. And right now, Marianne needs some help from Liz.
Liz Johnson looking for her first national singles title. It's only her rookie of the year. She has 1 doubles title this year. It's a 10 pin. That could be the opening that Marianne was looking for.
Well, it certainly could be. It looked like Liz had a little more speed on that shot. And, you know, I know personally when I get towards the end of a match, my feet get faster, my ball speed gets faster, and my ball starts coming up a little bit light.
That's actually one of Liz Johnson's weaknesses in her game. When her feet get a little too fast, she does not quite get the reaction from the ball that she wants.
Well, she makes that 10-pin Leila and takes a 23-pin lead into the 9th frame of this title match.
Dave Husted anxious to get started, as well as I'm sure George Brooks is. The men's final coming up right after the rest of the women's.
Bryant dealer to the rescue and get Bryant's Plus 90i, the most totally efficient gas furnace. It can lower heating bills up to 40%. Call Bryant to the rescue. 1-800-HOT-SALE.
Imagine your favorite NFL team drafting the fiercest competitor ever. Warner Brothers' Tasmanian Devil. He's about to score for your team with these exciting new Taz in the NFL watches. There's one for each and every team, both NFC and AFC. Even the Carolina Panthers. That's 30 exciting designs in all. Each watch features an accurate Swiss quartz movement, water resistance to 100 feet, an Action Taz NFL team logo, and a unique football second hand. Taz fever is sweeping the country, so score big with this special TV offer, only $29.95. It's a devil of a deal, so pick your favorite NFL team and order now.
Call toll-free 1-800-554-9000. That's 1-800-554-9000. Or send $29.95 plus shipping to Taz and the NFL Watches, P.O. Box 213, Plainville, Connecticut. For faster delivery, use your credit card and call 1-800-554-9000.
As the pins reset in the rack, we have a look at the scoreboard. Liz Johnson stopping her string in the 8th frame with a 10-pin. Sort of opens up the door for Marianne DiRupo, but I have to tell you, this lady right here has been hot all night. She continues to be. There is just no letting up, Marshall.
Striking in the 9th frame there. She looks very, very comfortable out there. Does she realize she's bowling for the U.S. Open title, Leila?
You know, I'm not sure. For a lady in her rookie year, she is performing like a 10-year veteran. If Marianne can strike here in the 9th, she could still shoot 246. Liz Johnson would have to mark in the 9th and 10th frame. Big shot here.
Oh, she couldn't have thrown it any better, Leila. Look at the disappointment in her eyes. She knows she made a great shot.
Well, the whole tournament, or this whole game, I should say, has been disappointing. Marianne led the arena finals in Little Rock, Arkansas. She lost. She was the top seed to lose, finished second. I think she's seen that replay again.
Well, it's very possible. I mean, this match is certainly not over, but Liz Johnson has just thrown so many strikes, and Marianne will have to strike out to have any kind of chance to win the U.S. Open title.
Well, she's made good shots. Unfortunately, the pins just have not fallen for her. First one in the 10th. All you can do is knock as many pins down as you can and hope your opponent doesn't. Marianne's last shot. 6 pins slaps out the 10. That's how they're supposed to go. Side view. Marianne DiRupo. Very high backswing. Again, ending up far from the foul line. Has almost that plant and throw approach.
Yeah, not a lot of slide, but very, very pleasing to watch. Very smooth.
Well, she gets strike number 2 in the 10th. One more, she shoots 236.
Well, she's forcing Liz Johnson to mark in the 10th frame.
That could be tough for a player going for not only her first singles title, but for a major.
It would be tough for me. And a very nice round of applause from the crowd for Marianne DiRupo, who bowled a very professional 236 game. Every ball in the pocket. Just didn't quite get the carry that she really needed.
Liz Johnson working on a strike here in the 9th frame. Really just need high pin count. And you cannot get any higher pin count than all 10 in one ball. Liz Johnson shaking her head. I think she's starting to realize, hey,
I just won the U.S. Open, I think she just said.
Unbelievable rookie year. The rookie sensation of 1996, Liz Johnson, not only captures her first singles title, but it's the BPAA US Open. What a feeling this has to be for her.
And for Marianne DiRupo, a feeling of dejection. As we see George Brooks, I think he may be meditating, trying to get himself calmed and prepared to bowl in the final match against David Husted. As we see Liz Johnson finishing out, doesn't really matter now. 265 for Liz Johnson, 236 for Marianne DiRupo, and Marianne gives her a big hug. I know she's disappointed. She led the tournament all week long, and Liz Johnson came up today, shot a great 258, 206, and a 265 for a wonderful 3-game total. A hug from David Husted, and now here's Leila Wagner with our champion.
First year on the professional tour, she wins the major. Liz, are you okay? Okay, she's speechless. She's not okay right now. Let's see, Rookie of the Year, what do you think? I'll answer that for you. No doubt. Few tournaments left, no way. Congratulations. It's your first major. It's your first singles title. Obviously destined for even greater things ahead.
This is just absolutely a dream come true. It's just been a great week, bowling with next to all the guys, and this is just unbelievable. I just like to thank the BPAA, the Woodland Bowl, and my caddy Myra over there, and thanks for everyone for coming out. Thank you.
Well, great bowling. We're going to have your presentation right after the final match of the men.
Coming up next, David Husted bowling against George Brooks for the championship of the men's BPAA US Open. Don't go away.
Call a Bryant dealer to the rescue and get Bryant's Plus 90i, the most totally efficient gas furnace. It can lower heating bills up to 40%. Call Bryant to the rescue. 1-800-HOT-SAVE.
For 36 years, Dr. Pearl has believed in providing the best in value. And now at Pearl Vision, we're celebrating our anniversary with a fantastic frame sale. All our frames are 50% off, every one reduced by half. But hurry, Pearl's Founders Day sale ends soon.
It starts as a blank ribbon of newsprint. Then it captures the most important business news from around the globe to become the Wall Street Journal. No one looks at the world quite like the Journal. It not only reports the facts, it tells you what they mean and how they'll affect you, your family, your career. Whether it's news from Wall Street, Main Street, Frankfurt, or Tokyo, the Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights on everything that can affect you personally and professionally. And because our readers use its unique power to help them succeed, we do it again every business day. The Wall Street Journal, always relevant, always useful. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-376-2800. That's 800-376-2800 for the Wall Street Journal.
Welcome back to Market Square Arena, where Leila is with our runner-up, Marianne DiRupo.
Marianne, I know this has to be extremely disappointing for you. Probably it'll go down as being one of the most disappointing moments in your career. But you threw 12 great shots. You can't be dissatisfied with that.
I'm very happy with the way I executed and performed tonight. Of course, I'm a little upset being I come a little short. You don't get many chances to be on the show when it comes to the U.S. Open, so hopefully in the near future it'll happen again.
Well, there's lots of greats that have had a lot of seconds. Marshall Holman, Judy Sutar. They say always a bridesmaid, never a bride. But I'm sure that's not going to happen in your career. Got lots of majors and long life in your career ahead of you.
Well, you know, with the talent nowadays, you just never know. I just got to take it one tournament at a time, and hopefully I'll turn my way very soon.
All right, you're a great bowler. Good luck the rest of the year.
Thank you.
As you see the feat of David Husted trying to make history, becoming the first back-to-back winner of the U.S. Open, the first three-time winner. You know, many people think that the hotbed for the sport of bowling is Milwaukee, Wisconsin. But there's another Milwaukee in the Pacific Northwest that's also a bowling hotbed of sorts. Milwaukee, Oregon is the home to Dave Husted, and the Milwaukee Bowl is owned and operated by the Husted family. That's where you'll find Dave and his father sort of hanging out at Milwaukee Bowl.
My dad taught me with a hollow rubber ball when I was about 4 years old, and kind of started from there. He stressed the fundamentals and sportsmanship and conduct that I should participate in as a youngster, and it's kind of followed me along in my career, and that I'm kind of proud of.
Having been raised in the sport, Dave has found the mental toughness and focus necessary to become a champion.
You know, I only know one way to do a lot of things, and that is I do it under control. You know, I create some power, but I do not try to go full throttle on a lot of things. With my bowling, the same way, and golf also. And that's just really kind of the way I know how to go about things, and being under control is a lot better than being maybe aggressive and a little wild.
So after the stress and intense concentration of a tournament, Dave is able to return home to find the stability of a family, which includes his wife, Michelle, and children, Corey and Chelsea Renee. Located just south of Portland, he's also able to take advantage of the great outdoors, which enables him to partake in a few of the other sports he loves so much.
When I'm done bowling or done with a segment, I like to, just kick back with the family. Any kind of outdoor sports, outdoor recreation is fun. Take bike rides, just long walks, that type of thing. Anything just to kind of get outside and enjoy the outdoors, basically.
All right, Leila, here we go. This is the men's finals of the U.S. Open, and what can we expect out of George Brooks? I mean, he's never been in this position before. I've seen newcomers shoot anything from 140 to 279, so we'll have to wait and see.
Marshall, has he ever appeared in a television format?
I don't believe so. It's certainly not at this level.
Wow. What an opening shot. Solid 9-10.
Oh, that's just incredible. That did not look like the delivery of a scared rookie.
It sure didn't. I'll tell you, between Liz Johnson, who has had some tour experience this year in '96, and George Brooks, there is a lot of talent out there that's hiding.
They have been kept well hidden. As you can see, George going for a spare. I don't anticipate any problem with the 9-pin. And he knocks it down easily. Okay. There's George's mother, Vivian Brooks. I think she's got to be a little more nervous than George, because George looks fine right now. Dave Husted, in the first frame of the title match, wants to get off to a good fast start. And he does.
Wouldn't mind throwing a triplicate for the night. Both of his first two games, 257. That's strong.
I think that 257 might be just what he's going to need, because George looks like he's ready to bowl a good game. And, after having a couple games on the championship pair, Dave's pretty well tuned in to what he needs to do in order to strike.
Well, there's a lot riding on this championship for Dave Husted. So he's a two-time U.S. Open champion. He is trying to become the first player to win 3 U.S. Open titles.
And as you see this delivery, very smooth, good push away. Oh, yeah. He wanted that shot, and he got it.
I thought Dave's supposed to be in retirement.
Well, ever since Dave announced his retirement about 2 or 3 years ago, he's been bowling great. He has cut his schedule back quite a bit, but he still bowls, probably 15 tournaments a year, down from a schedule of maybe 25 a few years ago.
Well, he's saving the best for those tournaments. Meanwhile, George Brooks pounds the pocket in his second frame. Dave Husted, perfect through 2 frames, has an early lead in this final match of the BPAA US Open.
Is kitty cat's fur sticking everywhere? Is your carpet covered with lint and hair? Don't get stuck. Stick It. Introducing Stick It, the incredible new rolling cleaner that attracts dirt like a super magnet. Don't lug out that heavy vacuum. Watch. Just roll Stick It over this filthy carpet. It cleans up lint, fur, dust, and hair. Run it under the faucet and look, it rinses away in seconds like it was never, ever there. Made of space-age adhesive, it's sticky to the touch when dry, super slick when wet. Use it over and over again, up to 1,000 times. Amazing! Its easy grip extension handle stretches to reach dust on drapes, cobwebs from ceiling corners. Hate to clean those hard-to-reach places? Just stick it, then rinse clean in water and wash the mess away. Beach sand is hard to clean. Stick It attracts the tiny particles and rinses away in seconds. Now, you can get your Stick It with extension handle for the amazing low price of only $19.95. But wait, we'll also include Stick It upholstery cleaner. It's perfect for car seats and carpeting. It cleans an entire velveteen couch in seconds. Then just rinse off the mess. Great for countertop spills. Picks up party mess. And watch this. Glitter is gone in a flash. It sticks like glue. Order in the next 10 minutes and we'll include Stick It
clothing cleaner absolutely free. Perfect for pocket or purse. White wrap it on your black coat. Roll on Stick It to clean up in seconds. Fido just wants to say goodbye. Don't cry. Use Stick It to brush hair away in a flash. Now, you get the Stick It floor roller with extension handle, the Stick It handheld roller, and your free Stick It clothing roller. All for just $19.95. Don't get stuck. Stick It. Stick It. Stick It.
To order Stick It, use your credit card and call 1-800-530-8288. Or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Stick It, P.O. Box 2978, Framingham, Massachusetts. Or call 1-800-530-8288.
Dave Husted up now in the fourth frame. As you can see there, he's still perfect through 3 frames. He is not letting up, not giving George Brooks any opportunity.
Well, he doesn't want to have any Cinderella stories. He wants to be the first to win 3 U.S. Opens, to be the first to go back-to-back in winning the U.S. Open. Now coming up in the fourth frame, this is a lane that has given him a little bit of trouble. Now that's on that shot, Leila. Look at that.
No trouble there. I would say George Brooks right now could be in trouble with the intensity that Dave Husted is showing.
Well, George finds himself 21 pins down right now. Dave's got the first 4. George spare and a couple of strikes. Needs to strike here just to keep within a shouting distance of David Husted.
That was Dot, George's wife, along with his mother, Vivian, watching George.
Now this ball goes out to the right. It's hooking back in. It looks good. It looks good. 6-pin just doesn't have enough power to jump out of the gutter and knock the 10-pin down. He needs to compose himself, make the spare. There are a lot of frames left, but if Dave Husted doesn't stop striking somewhere along the way, this man's looking in second place. He sticks to the line, but he makes the 10-pin.
Seems to be the happening thing here tonight. Dave Husted stuck shooting
Yes,
the 10-pin.
he did, Leila. As you watch this 10-pin, there must be something sticky in that area of the approach, because he definitely almost went over the foul line.
Actually very fortunate not only to not go over the foul line, but also to convert the spare and not to be shaken up by it.
No, he seems to be in pretty good shape. Wants to get the strikes going again, try and get back into this match.
Strike.
He says strike, and he throws another beautiful shot as George Brooks strikes in the 5th frame. Dave Husted with the front 4 in this final of the men's BPAA US Open.
The Golf Shop, Central Pennsylvania's oldest and largest supplier of golf equipment, has everything for your golfing needs. Clubs, bags, and balls. The Golf Shop has it all. And the Golf Shop always has true discount prices on national brand merchandise.
$10 off our true discount price on Lady Fairway golf shoes in stock. Offer expires November 10th.
At the Golf Shop, we make golf affordable.
Look what you can see for only $3.95. Big stars, big hits, one small price. Viewer's Choice is affordable entertainment the easy way. Just pick the showing you want to see and follow the simple pay-per-view ordering instructions. Before you know it, you'll be enjoying the movie of your choice right in your home. And each movie is only $3.95. So you can treat family and friends to hit flicks for less than the price of one ticket. Value, convenience, plus great entertainment. There's nothing to it when you pay-per-view it.
The thing with athletes abusing reporters is getting way out of hand, and we at SportsCenter have gotten to the point where we have just got to be ready to fight back.
The most effective defensive weapon would be your microphone. Always be aware of your surroundings. Say you're on the sidelines. Take any weapon that happens to be handy. Suppose an athlete decides to attack your cameraman. What would you do? Knock it off. No. Let me show you. You have to be very careful not to hit the camera.
Marshall Holman along with Leila Wagner in the 5th frame for David Husted. He's perfect through 4. He enjoys a 21-pin lead. Would like to increase that to 31. Here He likes it. Oh, 10-pin, Leila.
Oh, and you heard him yell, carry. He knew it was there. The only thing that he was missing was the 6-pin to hit the 10 on the way out.
The 6 went right around the 10. Dave Husted, a very good spare shooter. He'll take his time, throw the ball hard and straight for the 10-pin. He's stuck. Oh, that's very uncharacteristic. He's just shaking his head.
You know, Marshall, he didn't just miss that. He missed it by quite a bit.
Well, as you can see here, Leila, everything looks fine right now, but watch the slide. There is no slide. And he flags it by 6 inches.
Looks down at the approach.
Here we'll see him sticking again, and you'll see the ball just inside the target all the way, never has a chance. Now Dave needs to just totally forget about that and start striking again. That puts a lot of momentum over towards the George Brooks side of the camp.
Now looking for a light hit. 2 pins remain. Did the 10-pin have any effect on him there?
Well, it looks as if he's a little bit out of his rhythm now, Leila, and you know, he hasn't missed the pocket. Now he misses the spare, and he misses the pocket. He makes the 2-pin, but George Brooks has new light.
He sure does. The pendulum just swung the other way. It's George Brooks. Can take the lead with a strike here.
Well, he's working on a strike. This for the double. An aggressive shot.
Wow, look at that.
And a great result.
George actually has tour aspirations. A win here tonight would certainly make that possible.
Well, it would certainly give him the financial edge necessary to come out here and compete week in and week out.
Not to mention the confidence, Marshall.
Oh, he's getting more confident with each shot. He's making nothing but good shots out here, Leila. Going into the 7th frame, he actually has the lead.
Strike! Is he going to make it?
Oh!
Heard him first say hold.
Nice move.
We actually thought that ball was going to jump too high.
Well, the pin rolled around, looked like the head pin. He's waiting for it. He's yelling for it. Almost.
Just came up short.
Needs to pick up the 10th pin in the 7th frame. No problem for George.
Match very close here. Dave Husted needing to get it back together with a strike here. He could trail by just 1 pin. And he does so. Looks like he got the momentum back. A 2-time Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award winner.
Yeah, Dave is known as a nice guy on tour, and he's my good buddy. And he's looking good out there right now, but he needs to put 2 strikes together.
Trying to regain the lead right here.
To take a 9-pin lead. And pretty much the same hit that George Brooks had last time in that very same left lane. A half-pocket hit, but it looked like the messenger was going to come back and take care of the 10-pin, but not quite. Can he make the 10-pin this time? No problem.
With that spare conversion, Dave Husted still trails George Brooks by 1 pin. We'll have the rest of the final in a moment.
You've spent your entire life sleeping in an old-fashioned flat bed, but now you have the opportunity to find out about a better, healthier way to relax and sleep. Get this free information kit about Craftmatic adjustable beds. Call toll-free and a helpful operator will mail you a free Craftmatic adjustable bed catalog and this special rebate certificate. It's worth $200 off any Craftmatic Model 1 adjustable bed. Why is Craftmatic making this rebate offer? It's our way of saying thanks for taking the time to find out about Craftmatic. There is, of course, absolutely no obligation for calling toll-free and requesting this helpful information kit. So if you have any interest in adjustable beds, Pick up your phone and call now.
Call toll-free 1-800-554-9000. That's 1-800-554-9000. Toll-free 1-800-554-9000.
The Wall Street Journal keeps you on the cutting edge with news and insights that can affect you personally and professionally. Subscribe now and have the Journal delivered to your home or office. And with your paid subscription, you'll also receive our free personal finance software to help you make smart decisions. Get 10 weeks of the Journal and the software for only $3.80 a week. Call now, 800-443-7400. That's 800-443-7400 for the Wall Street Journal.
The 1996 BPAA US Open has been brought to you by Bryant. For dependable heating and cooling, call Bryant to the rescue. And a look at the trophy. George Brooks is enjoying a 1-10 lead.
Well, this match is going right down to the wire, Leila, and I know I'm excited right now. Will this be the first-time championship for an unknown George Brooks, or will Dave Husted win back-to-back and be the first to have 3?
Only 2 more frames to find out. Oh, and the messenger was called and answered.
Well, we've been watching that messenger just come short the last couple of frames. That time for George Brooks, the pin went to the sidewall and knocked over the 10 pin. Now, if he could strike here in the 9th frame, he would increase his lead to 11 pins and really put a lot of pressure on David Husted.
Big deep breath, a little more time. George Brooks has a lot of regional experience that has had to help him through this week.
Well, it's helped him, but he's dug deep and found something from somewhere, I don't know where it came from.
Oh, no.
And you heard him, oh, no.
Well, Leila, he seemed to know that that was a bad shot as soon as he let it go. Here we go. We'll see a replay of this shot.
Marshall
got the ball down kind of quick, and it doesn't make the turn back to pocket.
We talked about the adrenaline going in the match between Liz Johnson and how faster their feet go.
Yeah, that's definitely a shot that he got a little quick on as we see the pins leaving the 210. Now we'll see. He knows that's not a good shot. And David decided to see that shot. Well, George still in good position. If he can muster up the spare conversion, and he dropped that ball.
Actually, it looked like he stuck at the line. He backed the ball up to the 2-pin, Marshall.
I don't understand why he tried to play it this way. He throws the ball with a reverse hook to try and get back to the 210. I can understand if it was the 2-8-10, but there was no sleeper. He loses more pin count because he doesn't get any of them. Now he finds himself in a deficit position. Dave Husted up in the 9th frame. And like the champion he is, he climbs all over that break.
And running it out all the way over to lane 1.
Now Dave Husted working on a 2:17 pace. The best that George Brooks can do right now would be 2:14. So Dave needs to get a mark in the 10th frame and then fill 8 on his second ball. And he's the winner.
A lot at stake. Even Dave Husted taking extra time.
And he's finishing on that left lane that's been giving the bowlers a little bit of trouble.
Remember, the ball's been hanging on this lane. It actually hung again.
He was fortunate just to leave the 10 pin.
7 was the last to go there.
Well, the 7 pin was standing along with a couple others for a second, but just the 10 pin remaining. He's missed one earlier in the match. He needs this. And he picks it up perfectly, Leila.
You know, what was going through his head, Marshall? He missed the 10 pin, 5th frame. Pretty much had to have that spare.
Well, I think Dave Husted just completely forgot about the 10 pin that he missed and just went on with the work that he had to do ahead of him. He now needs 8 pins to shut out George Brooks and become the first to win back-to-back U.S. Opens.
And the first to win 3 U.S. Open championships.
Well, here it is, Leila. This is the shot he wants. If he could just hit the pocket, that'll do it. Back-to-back U.S. Open championships for David Husted, and he is spent.
3-time U.S. Open champion.
Beautiful. Raise that arm in the air.
Oh, that's great sportsmanship from George Brooks. And Dave Husted gave it everything he had. He got a good break. George opened in the 9th frame, but he was able to do what was necessary to win this tournament.
Meanwhile, George Brooks finishing out. Nothing to be ashamed of. Bowled incredible all week long. This man adds another title to his long list of accomplishments. Now has 13 national titles.
Just another it's a great victory for Dave, and I know that this meant a lot to him. To do something that's historical, I think means more to David than just to win a tournament.
And George Brooks, actually, one more strike. It's going to look good on paper. 216 to 214 if George Brooks can strike here. Boy, what a match. What a final here at the Market Square Arena. A little high, but hey, they all go down now. I think we are going to see more of George Brooks in the future. Marshall, meanwhile, is trying to make his way down through this crowd to talk to our champion, Dave Husted.
You really pulled up, my friend. I'm really proud of you. Been a good friend for a long time, and it's a real treat to say that you are a back-to-back U.S. Open champion.
Oh, that sure sounds good, boy. I'm about ready to throw up. I know that. Well, I just like to thank everybody with the BPAA, everybody at Woodland Bowl. Don Mitchell and his crew did a fantastic job. I'd like to thank Columbia 300 for having some of the best products in the world. And I don't know what to say. I'm just so excited, I can't believe it.
You kept your composure even after missing a 10-pin, and you're one of the best spare shooters I've ever known. Very unexpected to see you miss that, but...
Well, I just flat out whiffed it. I got a little quick and kind of fell off my hand a little bit, and I missed it. But you know, I don't ever want to pull against anybody, but I was just trying to make the best shots I could, and George had a little tough luck in the 9th frame, and I was just very fortunate to escape today. I threw some decent shots, got a little tight there, a little nervous, but I'll tell you what, it's bowling in front of everybody like this with a lot on the line. It's nerve-wracking.
Well, I'm sure everybody in Milwaukee, Oregon, your folks and your lovely wife, Michelle, Corey, and Chelsea are going to be pretty happy when they get the call.
Yeah, they're my best supporters. I love them to death. It'll be free beer night at Milwaukee Bowl tonight. You can bet on that.
It was this shot here in the 9th frame that hurt George Brooks. If only he could have picked this spare up, it could have been a different story. A great sport, a great week. Marshall Holman's with our runner-up.
Congratulations for a magnificent week. Thank you very much. You know, he threw the ball great all week. I was fortunate to be here, and you know, one bad shot, and cost you the tournament.
Well, it did, and you know, I was really kind of surprised. You know, here you are, a complete rookie, and you went a long way before you even made the slightest bit of a hiccup.
Right.
You're to be commended.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Good luck to you at the next U.S. Open, George.
Thank you.
If we could have Liz Johnson come up and join us.